Good morning. Welcome back to Mishmas. This morning we have a decaffeinated coffee. So I'll be making a second cup of caffeinated coffee right after this. But this is the Furtado Decaffeinato. And I love how that rhymes. It is intense and full-bodied. Intensity 8. Let's see, bitterness 4 out of 5. Acidity 1 out of 5. Roast level and body both are 4 out of 5. Furtado Decaffeinato Indian Robusta comes at you in full force with cocoa and oak wood notes still strong in the decaffeinated Colombian Arabica. Yeah, it's okay. It's one of those coffees that just tastes like straight up coffee. I never can really tell the difference between caffeinated and decaffeinated. I mean, as long as it's at least started out as a decent bean. My palate isn't delicate enough to detect the difference. It tastes good. Yeah, I like that the acidity is low. It is quite bitter, but yeah, it's not super smooth. I'm remembering yesterday's, I really liked Mexico. That one was like really smooth. It had kind of like those spicy notes in there. That was really good. So far, I think that one is my favorite, the Mexico one. Yeah, this is woody and earthy. All right. I do enjoy decaffeinated coffee in the afternoons. I started doing that when my sleep became kind of interrupted, mainly because of perimenopause, I believe. And I thought, well, let me not feed into that, and I started drinking decaffeinated coffee in the afternoons. And it is a really great kind of workaround, because sometimes I do just want the taste of coffee. I want something warm to drink. Well, good to know that this decaffeinated is decent. It's decent. I have a decaffeinated from them. It starts with an M. Maybe that'll come up later on in the advent calendar. But that one's okay too. I actually don't taste, well, I can't remember, but I was gonna say I don't really taste that much of a difference between the two decaffeinated. All right, enough yip-yapping. Let's go ahead and open up these Jo Malone and Diptyque advent calendars and get on with day 10. Alrighty, day 10. Ooh, let's see. Let's see. Here we go. We've got a little perfume. Oh, it's the English pear and sweet pea. Huh, interesting. It's very similar to the English pear and freesia, but it's maybe a little bit lighter, I would say. Wow, that's so cool. Day 10. Day 10, okay. Let's see, oh, right here. We've got, ooh, I don't know how to pronounce this. I'm trying to figure out what order the letters go in. Frondice. It smells like a spice cookie. Oh, I may have to burn this today. Wow, that is gorgeous. I wonder if I need a bigger one of this. Maybe, possibly. For today's Mishmas video, we're gonna be putting together a sparkly, sophisticated, I guess you could say holiday party, holiday season appropriate makeup look. So I've noticed when I've been trying Dior makeup lately, I've been saying kind of the same things, that everything's like a little bit too glittery, everything has like a little bit too much micro glitter in there. And so for every day, it's not really my thing. But I thought, 'tis the season, right? Now is the time to be wearing all of this like kind of sparkly makeup. So I thought I would do a look kind of utilizing a lot of these products where I've mentioned I thought they were a little bit too glittery for me, at least for the everyday. One of them is this Forever Glow Maximizer in Pearly. I also have it in this rosy shade. The rosy shade is not quite as micro glittery as the Pearly. The rosy has more of a metallic sheen than the Pearly. The Pearly definitely utilizes a lot of micro glitter. So that was one product where I felt like I was saying that quite a bit. This highlighter in here also very, very glittery. I actually tried their 4-pan like highlighter palette, the latest one that had come out. I ordered it from Sephora. It was way too micro glittery for me. So I actually returned that. But with all of this in mind, I ordered these Dior liquid lipsticks in the sequin finish. These seem to have been really popular this past season, I'm guessing, because it's like a fun lip look and also the holiday season, very, very appropriate. So I have 2 shades. I managed to grab Twinkle, which is this nude shade, and then this shade, which is Sensation. These both have like micro glittery, a sequined finish to them. So we'll try those out. I got these off of, I think the Saks site. I think so. It's either Saks or Neiman Marcus, one of those. And I saw this palette. Now, you guys know, I am a sucker for packaging, and I thought, oh, isn't that pretty? And then I realized this is a whole bar that comes down. I was like, what? I was like, what is happening? That is very, very cool. This has a really nice weight to it. And if you're looking for a gift, actually, I think this could be great for Dior lover, for makeup lover. Anyway, this has like a full face of stuff that I thought we could use. Probably the eyeshadows in here. And I got this specifically because I actually liked all of the shades in here. I feel like when it comes to face palettes or palettes with like a lot of products in them, there's always a few shades that I don't like. But this was really nice, and I liked how they put in a really bright blush and one that was a little bit more muted. So we could play around with that, but I want to use the eyeshadow in here. And I figured I'd pull out all of my Dior stuff and we would kind of do like a full face of Dior. I don't know, why not? So I'm actually going to start off by talking about these rouge bombs. So I like to prep my lips a little bit when I remember. I like to prep my lips a little bit before I put my makeup on. And so I like to put on either a lip mask or a lip balm or something as my first step. And so they actually sent me these rouge, where's the box? Dior balms. They sent me 3 shades, and I was really, really intrigued by this 002 Dior Gris shade. Do you guys remember when I did the PR haul for this? I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. And I do love the little bit of tint that it gives my lips. I have a little bit of it on right here, but there's something about this shade that's just not that moisturizing. It's actually not a great balm. It's great if you just want to give your lips like a little bit of a cooler tint, a little bit, like very, very subtle kind of cool tint to your lips. And it's surprising because I use this like clear one. This is just their 000, I think it's called like natural or something. Yeah, natural satin balm. This one actually feels nice on the lips. It feels very moisturizing. There's something kind of dry about this one. So yeah, I like that color, but in terms of a balm, I would not recommend that Dior Gris color. I would get this 00 natural shade. They did also send me a deeper shade. I think it's called like Dior Midnight. And that one looks really, really cool, but I suspect it's probably gonna be like that Dior Gris where it's not gonna feel quite as balmy as the natural. There's something about pigmentation that can be drying, and that's my suspicion that that's what it did to those balms. But anyway, just wanted to mention that. Okay, let's move on to makeup. So I actually have one of my favorite primers here. This is the Dior Forever Glow Veil. So since we're doing kind of a glowy, sparkly, I'm not even sure what I'm gonna call this video yet, but I think like sparkly look, I thought I would start with this Glow Veil because it has just the tiniest bit of a glowy shimmer to it. But the best part about this primer is that it feels great. It feels very, very moisturizing. I have dry skin, so I really appreciate that. So I'm just going to work this in, and I have my regular skincare on, so I'm working this in on top of my skincare. Yeah, it just feels really nice. And I wonder if you guys can see the pearly sheen it leaves. I think you can, probably right here the most, right here on my forehead. It's such a beautiful sheen. So it just sets the stage for a really nice glowy look, which I love. Obviously you're gonna put some foundation on top, you're gonna be putting all of your other makeup on top, but I do think it helps to start with this kind of glowy base if that's the look that you're going for. Am I getting a zit? Oh man, I think I'm getting a zit here. It's from all the food I've been eating out. My friend Matthew has been here and we've just been dining. It's been great, but I'm not surprised that I have like a little bit of a blemish right here. Ooh, does that happen to you guys? It's like as soon as I eat something kind of naughty, boop, you can see it on my skin immediately. All right, I just let that settle in a little bit. It even has a little bit of that tackiness, which always helps the longevity of the foundation, whatever foundation you put on top of it. Next, I'm gonna use my Dior foundation stick. I have been loving this foundation stick. You guys know I've gone on and on about this. So I use shade 2N, and it just has such a lovely finish. It's so easy to use. It blends out beautifully. And this shade 2N or 1.5N, which I suspect as the winter goes on is going to be my shade, These shades just match perfectly. They work so well on my skin tone, and I like how the foundation stick shades are really, really great match for the Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer, which you guys know I absolutely love. So I'm a 2N in that, and so I started with 2N in the foundation, and it works really well. So I love that. It's just easy. When companies don't do that, like when their concealers don't quite match up with their foundation shades, it's just complicated. It's complicated, so I really appreciate that. I'm gonna use my BK Beauty 101 foundation brush and just blend this all in. And you can see how quickly and easily it blends in. And I'm left with a really gorgeous light medium coverage, which is buildable. Isn't that great? And the finish is so nice. It's just a tiny bit more radiant than just like a skin-like finish, I would say. All right, so since I'm doing like a full face here today, I want to really perfect my look. I'm gonna go in with my Forever Skin Correct Concealer. And again, I do use shade 2N most of the time. Sometimes I go down to 1.5 if I'm feeling really pale. I'm gonna use my BK Beauty 506 brush. Just gonna work in the concealer over all of those spots. What a beautiful pairing. That foundation stick and this concealer, it's so good. Probably two of my favorite products from the Dior Beauty line. The foundation stick and the concealer. You guys could probably have guessed that. Let's use a little bit of contour. So I have the, where is it? The Dior Contour, this guy. So the Duo, and this is shade number 100, Diorissimo. It's the Contour and Glow. So came out with all the blush and glows, but this is the contour shade. So I'm going to find a big bronzer type brush and one that is a little bit on the denser side. So I'm going to use this Niji Pro from Sonia G. And not only is this a baked product, so you have to, well, generally baked products are a little bit tougher to pick up, but this product tends to be very, very light as well, very, very lightly pigmented, which I don't really mind, but you do have to go in quite a few times to like layer it up if you want something a little bit more dramatic, which I am going for today. So I'm just gonna carve out my cheekbones and then around my forehead here. This is a great contour shade, especially if you want something light. It is nice and cool. It actually does remind me of the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. The formula is different, very, very different, but the tone is very similar. I'm gonna bring this down a little bit. Maybe just do a little light dusting on the sides of my nose here. I haven't done like a full face of makeup in a really long time. This is actually kind of fun. Like seeing it come together really slowly. All right, I think I've added enough, enough contour. The cheekbones popping yet? Now for blush, I am going to hop over to this palette here. I have a few options. I have that blush duo, and then I think I'm gonna layer this on top. But let's take a look at what is in this palette. So we've got the bright one and the more neutral one. I think I'm just gonna take a brush and go between the two because I do want something a little bit brighter, but maybe not quite this bright. Let me see if there's a name to this. I've got the box right here, so it comes in a really beautiful box. Okay, so I'm gonna go between shades, I think it's 687 and 100. I'm gonna use this side of the Hourglass Ambient Lighting brush. It's this guy. I'm gonna use the pointier side. And I'm gonna go between the two here and just start on the apples of my cheeks and sweep up. I'm gonna use some circular motions here, just on the apples of my cheeks and then sweep up. That's so pretty. I'm wearing kind of like a very Victorian blouse. I think I'm getting inspired by that and putting on like a porcelain doll kind of blush action here. I'm going to focus my brush on the nuder, paler blush and work that up and out. Yeah, so that's a nice mixture of these two blushes. So like a bright and a more nude one, kind of all over. The brighter one maybe a little bit more focused on the apples of my cheeks. And then I used the nude shade, kind of focused my brush in there and just brought that out towards my hairline. Well, these blushes work really nicely. These are all just pressed powders up here. These are lipsticks down here, but these are all pressed powders up here. So very easy to use, very predictable, nothing too crazy. So that's really nice. But now what I want to do is I want to tap a little bit of this on top to give me a little bit more of a glow, of a shimmer. So just going to do, let's just start with one dot. Let's see. I'm going to use my Sonia Soft Concealer Brush. It's maybe a little bit too small for what I'm looking for, but let's just start here. But I want to be pretty meaningful about the application of this. I don't want to just, you know, swipe kind of haphazardly, because I really want to focus the sheen right where I have the blush. So I maybe could have gone lighter with my blush. I forgot that this is fairly pigmented. And I know my blush looks really bold right now, but as soon as I put on the other makeup, it will definitely, in relative terms, seem a lot less bold. I'm just going to use the other side of the Hourglass brush. It's bigger, and now I'm just going to kind of stamp to pounce down that cream liquid product there. Yeah, I know it looks very, very strong right now, but yeah, once I get eyeliner and the lipstick on, it won't look that like crazy, that intense. Okay, and I'm wondering, can you guys see? It has this really beautiful like duochrome metallic sheen. Again, not something I'd wear every day, but really, really fun for the holidays. Okay, now for highlight, I'm gonna go in with this pearly one. And again, this one is way, way too micro glittery for me on a regular day. It also has a little bit of like a duochrome shift. So I'm going to tap this right on top. I may put a little bit of powder on top, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I'm going to use this Esom T47 brush. This is a great synthetic haired brush. It's flat, but the bristles are short and it's fluffy. It's like packed in really tight. So I really do like this for cream products. So I'm just going to tap here. This may be better with my finger. We'll try the other side with my finger. Before I blend it totally in, can you see all that micro glitter in there? It is definitely quite fun for the holidays. It's very like winter wonderland, especially considering how white of a highlight it is. Sparkly and shiny. Wow. I'm gonna put just a little bit of this down the bridge of my nose. Ooh. And I'm just gonna work that in a little bit. For me, that's really intense. Really, really intense. Okay, so we have the cheek situation down. I'm gonna go ahead and fill in my brows. I'm using the Dior Show Brow Styler. I kind of forgot about this product, but I love this pencil. And I also love the Dior Show, is it called the Onset Brow Gel? That is such a good brow gel as well. You know, and in fact, there's like a Sephora 20% off coupon going on right now. I think if you use the code HAVEITALL, you get 20% off one purchase. So it's a little bit different than the VIB sale, but you get 20% off one purchase. I think I'm gonna get that brow gel again. It's got a nice spoolie on the other side. Yeah, this is a good one. What shade do I use? It is 002 Dark Brown. Now I'm going to go back to this massive palette and I'm going to take a look at these eyeshadows. So there is a little bit of a red kind of tint to it. Actually, let me do some swatches. I should have done swatches of the blushes. Here's blush swatches first. So those two, the bright one and the nude one. And then let me do some swatches of the, ooh, Wow, the eyeshadows are really soft. Really, really soft. Holy smokes. You can probably see it in my swatches here. But those are the 4 shades. I still have to do the one in the center. The one in the center I just swiped across down there. Beautiful metallic bronzy gold. It's really pretty. And while I'm at it, why don't I swatch these 2 highlighters here. Very pretty. One's like a nude and one is more gold. You know what? I'm going to actually, while I'm here, I'm going to apply some of the nude highlight, this one over here. I'm going to apply that on top of this highlight because it's so white. I want to see if I can bring it down a little bit. I don't know. I could be making it worse. I think I'm making it worse. Well, it's shinier, which is okay because that's the point of this particular makeup look, but I think I did change the tone of it a little bit. It's still very cool toned. That's okay. All right, let's go in to the eyeshadows. Let me find some clean brushes here. I've got my Sonia G Blender Pro brush. I'm gonna go into this nude shade down here. I think I'm gonna do a more dramatic eye look. I mean, dramatic for me, a more dramatic eye look, and then use this Twinkle Sequin liquid lip. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But we'll try both. We'll try both the Twinkle and the Sensation. So I'm brushing this all over my lid. All right, just getting that all over, softening up those edges. We're off to a dramatic start. We're off to a dramatic start. Let me grab a shader brush. I've got my Sonia G worker brush here. I'm gonna go into this reddish shade. It's like a Bordeaux. There's a nice, beautiful metallic sheen to it. And I'm gonna bring that on the outer corner here. You guys, I'm loving these eyeshadows. They're working so beautifully. Look at how beautifully pigmented these are. And they're blending out like a dream. I mean, I do love Dior eyeshadows, but the ones in the Quint are very different. Very, very different. This is really beautiful and surprising because sometimes, I don't know, sometimes I feel like I don't expect the best quality from these types of palettes, but this is great. These eyeshadows are really, really great. So I'm just laying down this deeper color with this worker brush, and then I'm going back in with the Blender Pro that I used on this shadow, the first shadow, and just blending it all out. I do love a Bordeaux eyeshadow for the holidays. I think it's really, really pretty and festive, and for this year especially, since this color is so popular, I think it's really, really great. I'm going to use this Sonia G Builder brush, and I'm going to go into the center shade, and I'm going to brighten up the inner portion of my lid just a little bit, just a tiny bit. Now I've got my Sonia G Mini Booster brush. I'm going to go into the lightest, this frosty white shade up here. I'm going to add this to my tear duct area right here. Really brighten that up. I've got my Nikki LaRose BK Beauty brush in N11. It's the angled one, but it's a great liner brush, and I'm going to go into this deep matte brown shade. It has a really strong red undertone. So I'm going to line my eyes, but it may look a little odd. Let's see. Oh, I think it's coming off brown enough. I was afraid it was going to just come off like red, and that's not always the best to line your eyes with. Unless you want to look like you have pink eye or some sort of eye infection. Also bringing it out a little bit like a liner, but I've got to blend that out a little too strong there. And adding it to my lower lash line. Yeah, I think you can see a little bit of the red in the brown, but I don't think it's too bad. I think it's okay. All right, now see how the blush doesn't look quite so bold anymore? All right, wow, I'm really impressed with these eyeshadows. They just applied and blended out like a dream. They were really, really soft, but not like powdery. There was like just enough creaminess to them. I'm so impressed. Okay, I'm gonna curl my eyelashes. I'll have to look, but I don't think I have any Dior mascaras going right now. Ah, I found an unopened one. So this is the Dior Show Iconic Overcurl in black. That's this guy. So this is a very volumizing mascara, which again, on a normal everyday basis, not really my kind of mascara, but for this look, when I want something a little bit more volumizing, I think this is gonna be perfect. You guys know I don't usually use powder, if any at all, because I do have dry skin, but I do have this Dior powder that I don't know, I got for the packaging. It is like a cushion style loose powder. It's in the shade Rose. And I don't remember why I don't really reach for this. I think it's the shade. It's very, well, it's rose, but it's not as much of a bright pink like Westman Atelier's Bubble. That one is like really brightening. This one, well, we'll see. We'll see. It does come with like a little puff, and then this is what it looks like. So I don't know if you can tell, but it almost has like a grayish lilac cast to it. So we'll see what this looks like, but I do want to put some powder on my under eyes because I feel like this whole area is going to get really messy. So I just picked up some on this powder puff, and I'm just going to press. There was a loose powder I remember from Dior, and I definitely decluttered it because it was, not only was it glittery, but it wasn't even micro glittery. It was like chunky glitters. And that would have really come in handy today, but I've already decluttered that. Do you guys remember that? It was in the same cushion packaging, and I feel like it was part of possibly like a holiday collection. Obviously not this year, maybe last year, maybe the year before actually, because if I decluttered it already, it must have been before last year. So anyway, that would have been perfect for today, but not in general. I'm actually just gonna apply some with my finger. Yeah, do you see how white that is? I think that's why I never really use this powder. The shade just isn't quite right, but I just had to get it because of the packaging. The packaging, you guys know how much I love animal print. It feels nice though. It's really smooth. Yeah, it definitely took the shine down, and I feel like it's just gonna control like eye makeup smudginess. Right, okay. Onto lips. So I've got these two shades, like I mentioned, in their liquid lipstick sequin finish, and I'm very excited for these. So I'm gonna try on this Sensation shade. Is that what it's called? I think this one is called Sensation. Sorry, I can't read the bottom. This is the deeper of the two. So I'm gonna try this on. I think this is actually gonna be a fantastic match to this eyeshadow. And let's do some swatches here. So there are some very fine micro glitters in here, but there's also a bit of a metallic shift. I mean, just a really, really interesting shade. Now, the shade of the actual like liquid lipstick is a very deep plum. It has a little bit of brown in there. And then the sequins are brighter purple. So there's like a lot of layers going on. I can't wait to see what this looks like on my lips. It's got a great pointy applicator for like precision. Is that not fantastic? That is a great color. And the sequins in there, not a ton sequins. The micro glitters in there, not a ton, but you can definitely see them in certain lights, almost like a nice highlighter. I love that. I was afraid this was gonna be like a glitter bomb, which can be hard to remove, which sometimes can feel chunky, like all those things. So I'm really glad that this is subtle. It's really, really subtle. I love that. And I love this shade. I love that this shade is very cool toned. I love that there's a lot of gray going on. And that was really easy to apply. For a dark color, I always feel like I get really nervous. It's hard to like get the line right, to get like a really even layer of it down. And this was super easy. I'm just on the Dior site because I wanted to get like a full description of these. So it's a dazzling limited edition lipstick for a brilliant holiday season. Dresses lips up in pigmented color with an ultra glittery finish. I would not say it's ultra. I'd say it's glittery. There's definitely a little bit, but it's not ultra. I mean, maybe we'll make our final determination when we put on a lighter shade, but for this shade, it's not ultra, which I like. It's my preference. Adorned with a shining golden cap, that it does have. This transfer-proof Dior lipstick delivers intense comfort and 12-hour wear. Transfer-proof. Not there yet. Oh, you know what? I put this on top of the balm. I forgot to wipe away the balm. You know what? We'll see if it's transfer proof when I take this off and we put this on because I'll have like clean lips. So let's do that now. And let me do a swatch of this. I almost get no glitter at all. This is one of the sequin ones, right? Yeah, this is a sequin finish. Hold on, let me see if I need to kind of roll the applicator around. Guys, I'm not seeing any sequinness to this twinkle. That is strange. Is it one of those, sorry, how to apply? Cover the lips generously or allow to dry for 5 minutes. Once the product is completely dry, press lips together to reveal a glittery finish. Okay, I was kind of suspecting that. I feel like there was a Sicily eyeliner that was like that. Do you guys remember? It was like I would put it on, but then you kind of had to work it out, and then the glitteriness kind of came out. Okay. Okay, this is a really, really like concealer lip look. This twinkle shade is very cool toned. I'm kind of loving it. I'm loving these shades. Okay, let's start there. I'm loving these shades. I'm enjoying this formula because it is very comfortable and very easy to apply. It's like all I want to do is smush my lips together, but I'm waiting. I'm waiting the 5 minutes. So I'm going to wait the 5 minutes and I'll be right back and we'll see if we can get that like sequin finish to come out. Okay, my timer just went off. Let's smush my lips together. Oh, do you guys see the little glitters in there? Oh, fun. Now, I know this is not original. I feel like I have definitely come across this in a lip product. Also that Sicily eyeliner like I was just describing, but it's fun. It's so fun. Oh, it's pretty. And I like it. It's still very subtle. It's not like I mushed my lips together and it was like pa-pow. Glitter bomb. It's very subtle. I really don't know which color I like more. I like them both so much. This one was like perfect with this eye look. Oh my God. What a good holiday look. Like this color, really sophisticated. Nothing too bright. Nothing like, you know, kind of like the typical like primary red color. This is such a nice like elevated version of that. Oh, love it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe down below. Let me know your comments down below as well. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you guys got these sequin lips, what you think of them. And that's it for today's Mishmas video. I will see you guys tomorrow.